The limit begins in Universe 828. If you're new to this universe thing, just watch the video to the end for an important scene. Prepare your snacks, subscribe, comment, like, and let's begin. What does the limit start with? The Fantastic Four Tower, specifically with our guy Reed Richards, and he's looking for the iodine compound in the drawer. Sue Storm's wife emerges from the bathroom with a pregnancy test, revealing she's pregnant. Reed Richards is in disbelief, but overjoyed along with his wife. Because they've been trying for years to have a baby, we cut to a television show that's celebrating the Fantastic Four. They've been superheroes for 4 years, and the host is telling their story, that they are 4 brave astronauts who are Reed Richards and his wife Sue Storm, his friend Ben Grimm, and his wife's brother Johnny Storm, or as we'll call him, Johnny. And at that time, they went to space. But they were exposed to cosmic rays in a cosmic storm that changed their DNA and gave them superpowers. For example, Reed Richards could stretch his body like rubber, while Ben Grimm transformed into a rock-like being similar to the Hulk. Johnny gained the ability to control fire after becoming engulfed in flames. Lastly, there's Sue Storm, and if you ask me about her power, I'll tell you. I'm not sure, and I don't think the director knows either. She has some kind of energy that allows her to push people and control things. I don't know the specifics, so let's move on. Over the past 4 years, they've been helping people on Earth with their problems, becoming incredibly popular. During the 4th anniversary celebration on the show, the characters now living together return home. Sue Storm reveals her pregnancy, prompting joy and celebration from everyone. However, the happiness is short-lived. As the story takes a turn, something always has to come and ruin things for you. Suddenly, the sky lights up really bright, and missiles start getting launched at them. So Johnny goes to stop the missiles, since they're made of fire and all that. But then he sees a strange, silver-colored being in the sky named Silver. A being visits Earth and informs the Fantastic Four, "As the protectors of this planet, I wanted to share the good news. Galactus, the planet eater, is coming to devour your world. What a coincidence. Celebrate the news. And if you're upset with someone, tell them. And if you want to do something, do it, because you're all going to die anyway. Peace be upon you, may God forgive us." The Fantastic Four are going crazy over this situation, wondering who Galactus is. And what planet are you talking about? Are you stupid or what? Is this some new food blogger coming to check out our planet or what?
No, don't tell me. Don't say your enemy is a food blogger. A food blogger?
Even Johnny can't keep up with her incredible speed when he tries to chase her. She's as fast as a rocket, mashallah. I mean, I don't know how I could be with a girl like that, I just don't get it. Riddle Shardy discovers that 5 planets, which share a similarity, have vanished or been devoured during his cosmic research, that the Silver Surfer visited them. So it's clear she's serious, and they're going to be consumed soon, just like our guy. Galactus, the planet eater, would devour Earth in an instant if he ever came, leaving no time for anything else. So what do the Fantastic Four do now? What's so fantastic about them? So what do the Fantastic Four do now? They wait for Galactus? Of course not, they go to space. The Fantastic Four launch into space and travel at the speed of light to catch up with the Silver Surfer so they can find out from her who Galactus is and where to find this guy. They discover a planet with the same energy as the 5 vanished planets. Upon arriving, they witness the planet shattering into 1,000,000 pieces and disappearing within seconds, even though it's actually bigger than Earth. The Fantastic Four's ship is suddenly noticed and pulled inside by the device or ship that shattered the planet. Just before they enter, Silver Surfer boards the Fantastic Four's ship, warning them of Galactus's impending attack and that they shouldn't have come. She leads them inside the ship as they follow her. They ask her how Galactus chooses which planet to consume. She says she chooses for him. They then ask why she chose them. She then leads them to Galactus's location, and he turns out to be a huge giant and looks terrifying. At that moment, the Fantastic Four say that millions of years ago, he wasn't a giant or anything. He was a small being just like them. However, the eternal, merciless hunger, my brother, is what made him grow over the years. He started eating planets to satisfy himself. The Fantastic Four begged him to spare a planet, but he's hard to compare to anyone else. Their planet, and leave them alone. So Galactus tells them, okay, fine, but on one very simple condition. I want to eat Reed Richards' son, or at least keep him as a snack, since he has immense power and could satisfy my hunger forever. So Reed Richards says to him, "Do you even know what you're getting into? You won't be able to eat the child or our planet." And at that moment, they escape after John stood his ground and ran. As Silver Surfer attempts to intervene, Sue Storm uses her powers to push him back, allowing the 2 men to secure their ship and escape. And of course, Silver Surfer doesn't leave them alone, because he wants to take the child from Sue Storm's womb. But at least they're traveling quickly, with Silver Surfer chasing after them at high speed. Yeah, and he intercepts them and tells them that they should go to the nearest black market. And that's when he meets them and tells them in the black market. She'll get stuck in the field's gravity for about a month. If you don't understand, ask the director, not me. Crucially, the plan is effective and traps the server in the black market's domain. And while they're escaping, during her childbirth, the Fantastic Four return to Earth after becoming the Fantastic Five with the new baby. What does that mean? People greet them enthusiastically, urging for a press conference. When asked how they defeated Galactus, Valdrisha looks at them, confused. Honestly, who did we defeat? Him? We went through some crazy stuff that only God knows about. We went through some crazy stuff. Seriously. What? He asked for tribute in exchange for the planet, Earth, and all humans? All of them. So we refused, because that's like giving away our own eyes. So of course, people started attacking them and insulting them. How are they going to kill 8 billion people just because they refuse to sacrifice a single tribute? Sometimes Valdrishan can't find anything to say. He returns to the tower with the Fantastic Four to plan their next move, as Galactus Cilia has complicated matters, especially since the samples they took from the ship after analysis turned out to be older than their own universe. Actually. So, we really shouldn't have done that with Galactus. Everyone is against Reed Richards and Sue Storm, pressuring them to hand over their son, Franklin Richards, to Galactus. This is especially true for Sue Storm, who feels the weight of the situation. At that moment, Sue addressed the people, saying her son means everything to her and she won't sacrifice him to save an unknown world. She asked, "Why should I care about the world?" However, she also won't sacrifice the world just to save her son.
So we're doomed.
Korun and Karn, son of Karur, sat with us in the Lightwell for lunch. After talking and getting an answer, he trusted them again to solve the problem. The Fantastic Four devised a plan to avoid facing it directly. Galactus, they create a huge teleportation field around planet Earth, and they move Earth outside the solar system to another galaxy where they can live. At the same time, Galactus won't be able to find them for millions of years. Maybe something like that. All countries begin constructing the teleportation gate to move Earth. But initially, a massive amount of energy will be required to relocate the planet. So the Fantastic Four tell people that they're going to do a kind of load shedding, but not for just 2 hours, no, for the whole day. They're going to cut off the power from the entire planet until they move the planet safely, God willing. Galactus approaches Earth, and the Fantastic Four attempt to move the planet using a teleportation device. However, the device is destroyed, leaving the Fantastic Four unable to save Earth from Galactus's impending arrival. A person visits the Fantastic Four's tower to retrieve an item. Franklin attacks his mother from behind, but Johnny intervenes, realizing it's impossible to defeat her. After facing death and chaos, they find themselves surrounded by her belongings. He plays recordings of her conversations with me, revealing that Johnny can decipher her words. And he finds out that it's the language of the planet Simba, whatever that planet is. But the important thing is that he's able to learn her language. We learn about Silver Galactus, who planned to consume planet Simba. He made a deal with Scar, leading Silver to sacrifice her life and serve Galactus forever. And she chooses the planets for him to consume, in exchange for him sparing her planet Simba. Johnny plays recordings from Frankie's planet honoring her as a hero and thanking her for her sacrifice. He also plays recordings from planets consumed by Galactus, contrasting the two, and the last moments in the lives of their inhabitants as they scream, die, and suffer. At that moment, Silver Surfer, who insulted her, Shalbal, what does Shalbal mean? She feels guilty and decides to leave Franklin and walk away after telling Johnny that he either sacrifices Franklin or they either take each other and run away, leaving the planet to be consumed because it's already doomed anyway. Anyway, Johnny goes back to the Fantastic Four again, and after a lot of thinking, Reed Richards says, "We need to try to stop him." "Sir, are you being serious or just messing around?" Reed Richards suggests bringing Galactus to Earth, away from the Sfinto, to deal with him without its influence. Galactus will be trapped and disoriented. However, Reed is unsure how to lure Galactus to Earth without the Sfinto he intends to destroy. Yeah, just like you thought with the companions, but I didn't think of it. No, they're going to use Franklin as bait. They'll tell Galactus that he's coming to take him, and then they'll move him. Sue Storm refuses and feels betrayed by Reed Richards for considering sacrificing the boy. She disappears with Franklin, walking away in the rain, in a dramatic conversation. Oh, I mean in America's conversation. But Reed Richards goes to her and reassures her that he won't let anything happen to Franklin, no matter what, and that they'll lure him to the planet. So of course, Sue Storm agrees because it's the only solution, and they use Franklin as bait and wait for Galactus. He comes, and while he's on his way, they move the people of Earth to underground shelters so that when he arrives, he doesn't kill them. Not by accident, because to him, they're literally like ants. Galactus arrives, towering over everything, and starts destroying buildings. Despite that, it's not his actual size since he shrank himself to land on Earth. He finds the kid and attempts to swallow him. And then Johnny comes and hits him in the eye with fire, and while he's closing his eye, they come in. They switch Franklin's car with an empty one to trick Galactus, but he notices the empty car just before stepping into the trap. He then easily locates Franklin due to his ability to see everything. I don't understand the power source. So, you mean he plays with us like he's soft or something? Anyway, he leaves the trap and goes toward the real Franklin to eat him. Of course, they're all attacking him and trying to stop him, but it's useless, and he doesn't even flinch. Literally, he knocks them all away with just his finger. One person attempts to climb onto Galactus's back, possibly to pinch or tickle him, which is confusing. Galactus grabs the individual with his finger like an ant and starts playing with them. Since Galactus is dying, it reminds the speaker of when Doom used to play. Remember the old trend, the stretchy man like Superman? You'd pull him and he'd stick to the wall or something like that. Anyway, does Galactus and his friends just sit around? Reed Richards dies, but Ben and Johnny come down from the sky right in front of Galactus. So at that moment, he lets go of Richards and continues toward Franklin. Then he just grabs Franklin very easily, just like that. Before swallowing him, Galactus sees Sue Storm transform into a powerful being through the strength of love, friendship, and motherhood. She unleashes a blast that controls Galactus, and they trap him in a snare. The Fantastic Four rescue Franklin from Galactus and exile him to the worst part of the universe. Sue Storm, with the power of love, friendship, and her fierce strength, pushed the mighty Galactus into the trap. Galactus tries to escape through the portal that's supposed to close in 10 seconds, and he was just about to make it out. I can't believe what's happening, may God help us. And with that, they would have been done. But then, Johnny decides to sacrifice himself to save Franklin, his whole family, and the entire planet Earth. Silver Surfer, following Johnny's plan, sacrifices herself by pushing Galactus into the portal at the last moment, atoning for her sins after Johnny's words awakened her conscience. And then, the portal closes on Galactus and the Silver Surfer, and with that, they save planet Earth. Sue Storm passes out from the immense energy she released, and she's nearly gone. Franklin is also present. Then he said she stopped and died, and Reed Richards tries to wake her up in a sad scene. But there's no sign of life at all. The beginning of Fantastic Four by Tariq Najim is really tough because it's a superhero movie just getting started, and you can't just kill off some characters like that. Of course, the important thing is how she came back to life after they put Franklin on her chest and somehow revived her. And it's clear that Franklin is one of the strongest Marvel characters. He's actually considered one of the most powerful characters in Marvel Comics. Honestly, in the future, Franklin even has Galactus as his bodyguard, I swear. Sue Storm's death would make it impossible to call the team the Fantastic Four anymore, leading to people celebrating out of nowhere. Sue Storm reappears after several years. Sue Storm reads a book to an adult Franklin. She leaves to get something and returns to find a tall man in a green robe and metal mask. I don't need to tell you that this is our guy, and everyone's guy. Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, and happiness comes when the phrase, "The Fantastic Four will return in the Doom movie" appears. That's all for today's summary, friends. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share to catch all the upcoming videos. This is Haduda and Tuda Tuda signing off. My story's over, but here comes Galactus. What's going on? I'm confused.